You are now listening to Asking for a Friend with Talkdoc, sharing insights through real, honest, and practical ways to improve your communication and relationships. Featuring your hosts, Dr. Pamela Kreiser, Meredith Edwards-Nagel, and Teighlor Polendo.
All right, we're back for our last fallacy. Y'all ready?
Y'all ready for this?
That was very Texas of you. Longhorns. That was like a
Hey,
throwback.
go Longhorns. That's right. So we've got the appeal to false authority. This is one Teighlor brought to us. So it's your fault. This podcast episode is your fault.
I like to blame things on her. That makes me feel a little better about my day. Thank you.
Okay.
So tell us about this one. What is this?
Oh, man. It's a fallacy in which support for a standpoint or product is provided by a well-known or respected figure who is not an expert for the thing that they're supporting. So I think we see this a lot. You can use the title doctor, but maybe it's not a doctor in the correct area of expertise you need them to be in.
Hey, watch that.
Them. I know, right?
I do. I actually play with that fallacy with my kids. I'll be like, I'm a doctor. I can help you. And they're like, you are not a medical doctor.
I like that. We see it a lot in advertising because it works. Some classic examples you might think of an Olympian selling you McDonald's or...
Which, well, let's think about that one. I don't think Olympians train on McDonald's as their diet.
My guess is not. But the fallacy is, I think you kind of buy into this idea that if I eat like them, I'll be like them. So if I eat McDonald's, then I'll get a gold medal. Or if I eat these Wheaties, I'll become an NBA superstar. Or
is it that discreet though? Or is it just, I like Michael Jordan, so therefore I'll like this product? Probably could be anything on that spectrum, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. Ultimately, I think what it does is make them money. And that's the goal, right? Of the
certainly.
company.
That's right.
The one that was glaringly obvious to me was the Kardashian. I saw a Kardashian selling a medication. And I thought, what on earth, maybe other than personal experience, what authority does this person have to sell medication?
So is this fallacy that in this example, they're actually selling it or they're promoting this sale of it, or they're trying to convince other people this is why you should buy it to be like me because I did this and therefore it works?
I think this is the expert opinion basically in advertising or just in any kind of thing where 5 out of 4, or what is it? 4 out of 5 dentists recommend this brand. 5 out of 4 dentists. Anyways, this
isn't a math podcast.
Opinion,
we're good,
right? Thank God. Clearly. Yeah. So I don't think they necessarily have to be selling something, but I think we often see it in advertisement.
Right. So like endorse it.
Yeah,
that's a better word.
Essentially, like what an influencer's job is to perpetuate this fallacy.
So that's interesting you say about that, because I was thinking about influencers and I was thinking, has it shifted that from like the celebrity endorsement? Have we shifted partially into a culture that has some dependence now on influencers? Are they the modern embodiment of this fallacy? Because I see influencers are endorsing these different things, but I don't think they're using the products all the time.
I don't know if this is a new thing or just that it has become an actual profession and that it's so much more in our face because we have access to these people.
Their access makes their sale so much more believable, though.
Yeah, so I think it has made more of them, but I would kind of think that this has been around a while. I mean, celebrities have done it forever.
Oh, for sure.
My favorite example that you've talked about this with us before is the celebrity, and I think it's like the lotion or something. Who was that?
Oh yeah. Well,
I love how you like roll your eyes.
I feel bad because I actually do.
I know I like the
her.
celebrity too.
But yeah, just any celebrity selling kind of like a beauty cosmetic item, I think works really well because they're beautiful, and that's a big part of why we like them as a celebrity, I think, oftentimes. But what does their expertise is acting, and I don't know what acting has to do with selling lotion. They're not like a dermatologist or even an esthetician, someone like that, who could maybe make professional recommendations.
Right. Okay, so they don't have the expertise. Okay.
Yeah, so like in that example, you can wonder to yourself, does this famous person even use the product that they're trying to get me to buy right now? Because person X is famous and she or he has beautiful skin and I want that. And I'm seeing it being sold to me. And if they have beautiful skin, I want to use that thing. But that's the false fallacy thing in this, right? Is that like sometimes I think, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. First of all, you're not a dermatologist. Are you even using this product? Like, really? Like, how do I believe that?
I just really never believe that a celebrity is using the same item that maybe I can afford from the local drugstore. I just like, I have a hard time believing it, but who knows if they do or not.
Yeah. Now it's a good question. That's true. So usually there's cousins.
Yes, I love the cousins.
We're talking about fallacies that have sort of a similar connection. So one we could talk about is blind loyalty, right? Or blind obedience. So I simply adopt it because you said you liked it and I'm on your side or on your team. Right.
Yeah. Not even necessarily a celebrity, like an actor or someone, but just even a public figure or a politician, maybe. If they endorse this person, then I'm going to, or
we just
if
follow
they
it.
said it. Yeah. If they said it, then it must be true.
Yeah.
I think that's what I like about this cousin so much is it puts what you said, Dr. K, that puts the loyalty above what's actually true in that
which
situation.
Is frightening.
Yeah. Like
if you think about it.
Yeah, I'm so loyal to this side or this person or this whatever that I will, and it's frightening. There's some beauty to that kind of loyalty, I think, but in this example, it's concerning, you know? Well,
no, I think it's very concerning actually, because I mean, you can get into brainwashing and things like that. Like you can really start getting people to do things if you overuse that loyalty. And that is concerning. And then I wonder sometimes in a lesser way, so not brainwashing, but like just true loyalty. I worry sometimes that people become so loyal that they just don't examine the argument or the reasoning and just use the loyalty as a pass or a substitute for the work that they could do, which is to identify what the argument is or what's the evidence and really do some research. And they'd find out that Kim Kardashian is not a doctor.
Yeah, I feel like you get really fired up about this subject, Teighlor, and I like it. So what is it that like gives you like when you talk about it, I see your face for whoever's like if you're just listening, you know.
She's mad right now.
Why do you think this fallacy fires you up so much?
I guess there's like a level of manipulation to it to me. It seems inauthentic, especially if you're representing something that you don't use yourself. You talk about that, like, do they even use this product? That seems inauthentic for me to like voice yourself, like represent a brand, but then not actually stand behind it, either using it or know that much about a company. I always wonder that, like, do you research, are their employees well paid? Is it a good company that you're representing? Like, I wonder about that. Yeah. And then just not being a free thinker. I think it's really important to know what, make your own decision for yourself and not be swayed by someone else just because they're talented or attractive or have a large platform.
That's right. Wow. I love it.
I don't know.
I feel like it's time for a quiz.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Every time you think you're going to escape.
I know.
You literally what? You thought
I never ever anticipate that.
No, you can't. Okay, first question. So I'm going to name 4 product endorsement pairs. Which of the following is not a well-known partnership? Mark Wahlberg for Verizon, Reese Witherspoon for Crate & Barrel, Taylor Swift for Diet Coke, Dwayne Johnson for Under Armour.
Can you read
Which
them
one
again?
isn't a partnership?
Read them one more time for me, please.
Mark Wahlberg for Verizon, Reese Witherspoon for Crate & Barrel, Taylor Swift for Diet Coke, Dwayne Johnson for Under Armour.
I'm going Marky Mark.
I'm going Reese Witherspoon.
And the answer is Marky Mark. Do you know what endorsement it was? It wasn't Verizon.
What he endorses?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I can't remember what he does. No.
AT&T.
Okay.
I know it was an evil trick, Meredith. What can I say?
Mad Taylor won.
It's all about winning. Okay, well, let's do another question then. Obviously, you're begging me for the quiz at this point.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here's the question. In 2016, the influencer marketing industry was worth $1.7 billion.
Wow.
What is it projected to reach in 2022? 3.4 billion, 7 billion, 13.8 billion, 23 billion. In 2016, it was 1.7. What will it reach in 2022? 3.4, 7, 13.8, or 23 billion?
This is 7 years later.
Well, 6, yeah.
Oh, 6. Sorry. Wow. I'm really good at math. Thank you. If this is not a math podcast, I would not be on it.
Do you need your calculator, Meredith?
I was going to pull it out. I really was.
What are you
And as I do that,
it?
I'm going to go with 13.8.
Taylor?
I think it might be that one. So I will go with 20, or what was it? The highest one.
23?
D, yeah.
That is wrong, Taylor. The answer is 13.8 billion. Meredith, you're right.
No, the old calculator. Trusted calculator.
Trusted calculator. Well, still, someday we're going to find out what buttons she's pressing.
We should go back and listen to all the quizzes in our podcast. When I reference using the calculator, I tend to get the answers right.
No, you 100% do. I know
No,
that.
but what are you writing? What
is the formula you're even putting in?
I think I just tell myself that I'm good at math for once, and it just comes to me.
I like it.
Well, no,
so we've got a tiebreaker question here.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what percentage of women use social media for purchasing advice?
Oh.
What percentage? I'm not going to help you.
Oh, guess a percentage.
It's whoever's closest.
90%.
I'm saying 87.
Oh, youth.
And what did you say? 90?
Yeah.
Did you use your calculator, Meredith?
Oh my God, it's 87. Don't even.
No, it's 86 though.
What?
Oh,
I feel like you might have hit a button and you had it all along. Meredith wins.
I mean, I'll take it today. Sorry. That's it, right?
Oh
2 out
my
of 3.
gosh.
That's how it goes. That's it. No more games.
All right. When I'm thinking about influencers, one of the things that I'm thinking about is, do they have the expertise? I think about Katie Masters, who we've had on this podcast.
Yeah.
And she's an expert in all things that are nail.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Related.
that's a trusted influencer.
If she recommended a top coat or she recommended something, a nail product, I'm going to think, yeah, she knows, because I don't know nearly as much as her about that topic. But then there's these other connections where it's like, wow, I need to start really thinking or vetting who's telling me these things.
Mm-hmm.
And am I watching it just because they're attractive?
Or they have a lifestyle that I think I want to have, or
Right.
That's sometimes where, if I'm honest about the purchasing power of the internet, I'll see someone that's like even if it's like a family Instagram or a athletic, and they're selling something or they're advertising a deal. It's more like the percentage off that first gets me. I'm like, oh, there's a deal. What is this thing? Do I need it? And then I'm like, well, who are you? Why am I buying? Why do I want to buy this?
Yeah, exactly.
It's that manipulation, like you were talking about earlier, Taylor, that it's, if you're not asking yourself how or why, and I'm curious about with this fallacy, because we're talking about a lot of examples, like where ways we could spot it, right? So that's what I want to know. Taylor, teach me.
Oh, teach us, Taylor.
No, teach us, teach. Well, I think I would say the first thing with this is just to notice it. And we talk about, there's a quote I like.
Awareness.
Yeah. The glass is shattering. Like once you become aware of something, then it's forever ruined sort of in your mind. Just start looking for it. And I feel like you'll just be more, as you said, aware. Is it going to be influencing my decision? And Mary, you talked about your exposure. How much exposure do you have to people influencing your life? And I thought that was a really powerful.
Yeah, or even like a simple task for me, and thinking about this one is like weeding through, why do you quote follow who you follow? You know, like I've gone through, I've had like seasons where I'm like, oh, I'm trying to get healthy, and then I look up stuff, so then it tracks these people and I follow them, and then I'm interested in this food or whatever thing, you know, whatever it is that, and I will go through like, well, why am I following these people? It's like Dr. K, when you were telling us with your wait, was that in the podcast you told us you unsubscribe from things? Was that here? Or was that in our personal lives?
I think it was in our personal lives, maybe.
But it's just a way to look at who you're following, ask yourself who you're following, why are you? And then you kind of can see, well, what are you being consumed with, or what are you consuming yourself with?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you become less of like a victim of it, more of an active player. Maybe.
Oh, I like that.
One thing that I do as a practice, I go to extreme news outlets and listen to both of them when a big event occurs.
Ooh, I like that.
Because I'm curious how each side is portraying it.
Yeah.
So you could be loyal and say, oh, this news channel is more like my framework or my point of view, so I'm just going to follow whatever they're telling me about what's going on in the world. And for me, I always do both, because I want to see what everybody's saying about the same thing. And it's a little bit funny sometimes, because it's like, wait, is this the same thing? Because there's something happened, but neither one of you appear to be agreeing, you know, neither perspective. So I think, oh, there's a lot of research to be done there to figure that out.
Yeah.
So being aware, maybe reducing the number of people that we blindly follow.
Yeah. So this is how we're identifying it. How is this now? Are we?
I think how to stop
it.
Well, I think stop doing it too, because awareness leads to that, and so does cutting off the blind following.
Just even questioning, like, give yourself a second to pause before you check out of what's influencing this in me, and just kind of self-examine. Do I just want to look like that person? Because do I just want to be like that person, like you talked about, Mary? Do I just want their life? Do I want whatever they're selling me? Or do I just really want these cool chopsticks that will help me eat my noodles?
Well, yeah, if you want them, you get them.
Yeah.
Wait, that's just blind.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think there's ways of a lot of these conversations we're having that we could have some sense of humor with it. Like, sometimes somebody sells me, chopsticks that look awesome, and I'd rather eat my food with those, you know?
Yeah.
And if I want to get them, I want to get them, and they're $5, and I can spend that's the freedom of spending my money the way I want to spend it. But the heart of this, which I was curious why it so sparked your interest, is it's more about being aware when you're just being manipulated into doing or spending or following just because of someone's position, and not because of their actual authority or knowledge. That's what I'm going to learn how to differentiate here.
And I think so. I think it starts with just a level of consciousness, of becoming conscious of that it does happen. How often does it happen to you? Just start to question that kind of and evaluate your own life.
Yeah. And hopefully have people in your life that can call you out when they see it, or you can, you know, and listen to it from other people. I'll tell Tommy, you know, I want to buy this thing, and not because he's telling me how to spend my money, because then I would just buy it. But it'll be like a conversation, like, well, why? What makes you think you need that? It's good to have self-awareness, like you're saying, but also welcome when people see that in you, and not be defensive about it, because sometimes they'll go, well, because this person I really like said that it's great. Is that the review I'm really looking for, or is the product or the thing I'm interested in really worth it?
Right. Well, I kind of think, if we're going back to the evidence, my strategy of listening to the news outlets that oppose each other, you could do the same thing on a product that you buy, or an idea that somebody gives you, and say, what's the contradictory idea?
Yeah.
What is it? Who's talking about it?
I do that with reviews. I go to the 5 stars and I go to the 1 stars.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
100%.
I want to hear like both ends of the spectrum of why you loved it and hated it.
Yeah. And you want to see how many are in those little slots.
Totally, right?
You're like, wait, there's a few too many ones right here.
Yeah.
And then when they start saying, I would give it a 0, but there's no 0 available, you're like, ooh. Right? Which is kind of a funny thing. But that's interesting. I do the same thing. I want to know who loved it. And then I also want to know how many people answered that. So it's not 4 people. And then I also want to see what I'm actually more interested in some ways at our lower people and what they have to say. You know, the people that are scoring the ones. So I enjoy that.
I always wonder about that with like Yelp reviews, because I feel like more likely than not, the person with a bad experience is going to write a review versus a person with a good experience. You're going to have more of those. And I think you have to remember that. It's true though, yeah.
No, but I think people do it because they're motivated, and people are motivated when they have the impression of a 1 and the impression of the 5. Oh, I love this product, so I'm going to talk about it. I hated this product, so I'm going to talk about it. So how do we unsubscribe from this problem? Well, we start with awareness, then we do our research, and we can compare the opposing points of view. And then it's time to think deeply about our motives. The question becomes, what's influencing you? And as we combine awareness and research, we can become more selective about who we let influence us. Once again, thank you for joining us today. Please remember to rate, share, and subscribe to our podcast. And thank you for listening to Asking for a Friend.
Let us know what you thought of the episode. Our email is hello@afafpodcast.com. This show is for educational purposes only and is copyrighted. Written permission must be granted before syndication or rebroadcasting. Thanks for listening to Asking for a Friend with Talkdoc.